something comes up, it means it's time to address it. It's risen to the surface. So it's not about us escaping something, it's about empowering ourselves by looking at the situation, what's coming up for us, what is it we're learning about ourselves through the interaction of it. So in every lifetime, every incarnation of yourself, your soul gets the opportunity to have a greater understanding of itself. So when you learn is through expansion. You learn when you are going through those moments of being stopped in your track. When there's difficulties in your life, it's through your difficulties that you are learning the most about how. I have opened up to Light Council, working with the energy of Light Council, and I am channeling information. I've already sat here for the last hour and I've got a flip chart in front of me, and of course someone's come in and given me all the information. I've got it written in front of me and I've got a notepad here, some information they sort of are interested and intrigued, they sort of said. So they'll be working through me, thank you, and they're just shuffling now behind me, so you can't see this, but they're just shuffling in, moving in as they come in, energy wise, and depending on the audience that I have, not just here now but also thank you those who will listen to this in the future, they're shuffling around light energy. As in, I say light energy, Light Council is like literally it's the collective. And when I say the collective, it's energy of those, thank you, they're talking about ascended masters. So ascended masters are now shuffling in as well. So ascended masters, those who've been on the planet before, who's walked on the planet, thank you, who make it easier for those in Light Council who've maybe have never had human experience before. They sort of bridge the gap, so that they sort of help, as in the humanity and what's going on the planet and how humans function, and so they can connect. Thank you so much. Okay, as I say, there's a number of them here in council that are stepping forward. Thank you. And I don't know why they want me to share this, but it makes it easy in the sense that because I've been there a few times on the other side, not that I purposely did it, but just because through the near-death experiences, it makes it a little bit easier for me to connect, as in I just sort of, you won't see me physically move to one side, but energetically I move to one side so they can come in and so they can, you can hear their voices, they said. Thank you. And I say collective of consciousness, so the energy, the feelings, the thoughts, it's all collective, and they share their information with you. Thank you. And those who wish to listen to it. Okay, fine, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to be in and out, and they're coming through. There will be different types of channeling, how I'm going to do this, but there's a message. I'm like, okay, fine. And I'm like, okay, I'll just deliver it. Don't shoot the messenger, but literally I'm just going to deliver some of the messages they sort of said. Thank you very much. Okay, let's just go with this. And we will go to questions and answers if there are any at some point. And again, as I say, it'll be meditation, and then we can pull some cards for those who are in the audience now. Okay, thank you. Okay, one of the things they picked up on, and I was sitting here and I said, who would like to communicate? Who wants to bring forward some of the questions? And it literally, then we started, it was like a chorus of, I say guides here, we've got archangels here, we've got, thank you, the messengers, they said, and those in Light Council, and they all sort of came out with different bits, they sort of wanted questions or statements they wanted to say, so I'm like, okay, fine, we'll go for it. So you might feel a slight difference in energy of some things that they're saying, but you'll get a feel for it. Bear with me. Okay, thank you. Okay, so very large capital letters here that someone shouted out when I said what was the message, and someone shouted out, wake up, your life is waiting for you. That was somebody had said that, and I was like, oh my god, that's a bit abrupt. And they said, but why are they not waking up? And then I had another one in Light Council sort of said, well, they are waking up, but very slowly. And one of them walked up and said, I just don't have the patience for this. And I'm just like, okay. And I go, okay, who would like to talk? And as I said, different individuals came in, and thank you. And they wanted to talk about the soul, really important right now, about the soul journey and what are a lot of you are going through. So as I said, I've got a number of them communicating with me right now. So bear with me with my English language, just because they're speaking. And okay, thank you. They said explain. sometimes when we're writing a sentence, well, when we write a sentence as humans, we'll write the sentence, but they sort of speak in between each line. So if you're writing 2 lines, 2 sentences, they're speaking in between each word. So sometimes I hear them, and then there's somebody else that comes in, and there's different types of energy. So bear with me. So the biggest thing they said is wake up. Your life is waiting for you. What are you waiting for? And then they started saying to me, thank you, that fear tends to stop everyone. This fear tends to stop those individuals. And they said this waking up, you call it, a number of you have called it the spiritual awakening. What does that actually mean? And another guy turned around and said, I just want to shake them. And literally another guy just turned around and said, well, that's exactly what happens to them. It's from their life traumas. It's through their dramas, through things, the experiences that happen to them, health ailments, things that happen in their life that sort of wakes them up and gives them a bit of a shake. As if two were standing here sort of communicating with each other, and I was just like listening into their conversation. And they was trying to explain to the other one, this is what happens. They need to go through their human experience. They need to feel as if their world's been shaken up a bit. And then another guy came in and said, but they're like, thank you. I said, what would we call you? It's a bit like scholars standing around in a sort of a library, but the library has no walls. There's this extension of vast space around. I do see a few pillars, which is interesting, because in my mind went to, are we holding up a ceiling? And there's like utter nonsense. And they didn't like that. I'm like, okay, fine. These pillars have got writing on them. So it's like information written on there, sort of ancient information. And I wasn't permitted to have a closer look at what actually some of the writing was. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll stand back. So when I go there in meditation, I sort of just stand back to one side, and I just overhear the conversation as I'm here now. Thank you. It's like my physical body's here with you visually, but I'm there energetically, so I can see what they're doing and I can feel their presence. Okay, fine, thank you. So they said, okay, thank you. Okay, fine. One of the guys just said to me, will you tell them they all have scribes? You all have scribes. Scribes that collects your data, collects all your information, stores all your information. These are scribes that store all your information, everything that your soul has been through and what it's going to go through and what it's traveling through right now. So there's a scribe that's writing all the information down. Thank you. And your higher self has that awareness of the information as well. So your higher self, your soul wisdom, higher not being literally higher than you are physically, but higher meaning seeking out more knowledge, has more understanding of yourself, understands your soul journey. The higher self is when your soul is conscious of itself. But as they just said to me, thank you, when you are in your human shape and form, you're thank you, I wouldn't have said that. You're so obsessed with what's going on in your external world around you. You almost forget, you become sort of like disconnected from that inner voice, that higher self, that higher knowledge of the direction you're on, and trying to remember why you're here. Okay, thank you. So one of them just said to me that tell them that through their life journeys and what you've encountered is through this is all for your benefit. This is all for you to become aware of who you are. That's why you have these life experiences. This is why you have these dramas that occur in your life, is so that it's a bit like Groundhog Day. Your soul's on a Groundhog Day. So in every lifetime, every incarnation of yourself, your soul gets the opportunity to have a greater understanding of itself. So it understands as in why it's here. It understands as in your journey. It understands as in what's your next step you're going to take. So it's about being conscious of your every movement, thinking the human that's in autopilot mode, the human that maybe does not want to look at issues or doesn't want to experience things or buries their head in the sand or is quite happy to do the 9 to 5, the status quo of your planet. That is the autopilot mode. That's not when you learn. When you learn is through expansion. When you learn when you are going through those moments of being stopped in your track. When there's difficulties in your life, it's through your difficulties that you are learning the most about how strong you are. About the particular time when you're encountering them, you may not feel, you fear that you are not strong enough. You don't have a greater insight into your journey. Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah. And I'm like, to give me an example. I'm like, I don't know if that was a great example, but So what they're showing me is like a riverbank or shoreline, somebody who's fishing using the fishing line. The only time to ever be still is when you're fishing for fish. Don't ask me. It's more about being interactive with your world, but also to have a great understanding that when you're actually in a situation, your soul has asked for that situation again, to bring your awareness to how strong you are and how much growth or how much information that you're absorbing. So your life lessons from what you are engaging with the world, it's to help you to understand your soul's journey of why you are here. Thank you. They said when we tune into the audience that are listening to this now, and when we tune into the audience that listens to this later, they are aware that those who are going through those moments of the spiritual awakening, it's all waking up to the fact that they've had something happen to them in life. It may be a death, it may be loss of a job or loss of a home, or something that's happened that then makes you stop in your track. That is that awakening, and it's not about running away from it. It's being in the moment to understand a great understanding of how strong you are, the strength of yourself, to have an understanding that consciously to be aware of what is happening. When you're in autopilot mode, when you're just going through the status quo of your everyday life, you are not necessarily learning. Thank you. It's like when you're learning to drive a car, like a manual, learning to use the gears. You are consciously aware of changing gears, and it's tiring. But if you were in autopilot mode, sort of like automatic mode of driving a car, you don't even give a thought about driving. So life, when it is that you're having to focus on changing gear, is when you are going through expansion, that your soul is growing and you have this awareness that your soul is learning more about yourself. Thank you. And your scribes, and they're giving me a whole team here, that each of you seem to come forward with a whole team of individuals, your angels, archangels, your guides, your spiritual team, your spiritual guides, and also they take stock of where you are at. So in a way, it's like these are your team, your spiritual team, to guide you through life, to navigate you through, so that you can then move forward. It's not to shy away, they said. So all the information stored each lifetime as a soul, that you are learning all the information about how strong you are, or how sensitive you are, or how psychic you are, or the medium that you are. And it's interesting, thinking one of the guys just popped in and said, if only they realised they were all medium to some degree, that they could have a conversation with those on the other side, make life much more easier. And they sort of peered through this membrane and just popped in and gave me that message, like, thank you very much. And now they walked off. Because we separate ourselves, because we feel there's a separation, we make life harder for ourselves. It's learning to reach out. It's learning to ask. You have to reach out. You have to ask. Ask why you are here. What is it that you're supposed to be doing? What is my greatest lesson? Okay, thank you. And I come to that, and someone's just here on the other side has pointed to me at my flip chart. Okay, fine. One of the things they said is that at this moment in time, there is this feeling of the wounded healer, working through your inner wounds, going back, childhood wounds. There's a lot of those that are coming up right now. So it's the wounded healer at this moment. And they said Chiron, I don't know, but they're talking about that at the moment. I'm not sure, but this is what they just said. Someone just shouted it out, bellowed it out. As I said, where I am energetically standing, it's like a hallway of scholars that are all standing there, and they're having conversations, and they're all sort of shouting out information here. So they said at this moment in time, where we're at in our world, where you're at on your journey, a lot of souls are having that, thank you, they're saying a reevaluation of where you're at on your life journey. And a lot of they're saying of things that have happened through your lifetime, not just this lifetime, but other lifetimes, and they'll come into the surface. So those of you who are empathic, those of you who are tuning into your psychic abilities, those of you who are very intuitive, you're going to feel this more than ever before. It's that, and some of you in this group have already gone through that process, and you're going through it. But it's having that awareness when you go through your spiritual awakening, when you are changing, it's like literally everything's coming up, all the scrolls, all in the Akashic records, all the information's coming up and going, right now, this is the point in your life. It's like dropping a pin and going, this is the moment in your life when things are beginning to change. And they're going to feel uncomfortable because it's trying to get you out of the automatic pilot mode and to put you now into that manual mode where you have to refocus on your gears, the direction you're moving in and what's happening for you. Okay, so that's the wounded healer right now. I'm smiling because I'm listening to these on the other side. I'm like, okay, fine. You can tell you've not had a human experience before. They say it's really easy, but I know it's not. And something else they just pointed out, someone said, this was their little thing they mentioned, and I'm looking at my chart, and it says, when you're given gifts, would you ever pick or choose or turn any of those gifts down? And they just said, of course you wouldn't. And the gift is the lesson. Okay, and to me, I'm like, oh my God. So your lessons that you're going through in life is the gift. And when I say that, I'm like, oh, really? But it is your gift for growth. That's what they're saying to me. They're giving you a gift. How lovely of them. It's the universe is working in sync with what's going on for you. So your own personal journey of what you are all going through. It's like, now it's like, okay, let's chuck this at them because they're going to learn something from it. And there's going to be those that are going to be fearful. There's going to be those that are scared of it. Those are going to be sort of they're just giving me, like during the war, they're in the bunkers with the helmet on and like, no, I don't want to take it anymore. But they're saying that we are giving you this gift. We want you to take it with both hands. We want you to lose your job, or we want this to happen, and we want that relationship to break down, because we can see on the other side that it's so much better, but you need to go through this. And I nearly swore then. You're going to go through this mess first. So this is what they're saying to me, that if someone was giving you a gift, you wouldn't turn it down, and you wouldn't like pick or choose. Well, I'm going to have that gift on Monday. I don't want to take it today. I'll have it on Monday. It's the weekend. I've got the weekend off. I'll have that gift on Monday. It doesn't pick or choose the days of the week or the times of the year, or when everything's all happening at once. And sometimes that is the catalyst of change. You'll notice when everything happens all at once, they sort of said. And I've got someone laughing on this side, which is not very funny, but they are laughing. And the little bit of writing here I wrote, okay, thank you. They said, treat your experiences as gifts to show you how strong you are. Excuse me. I'm like, oh, really? How strong you are. And they said, it may be like the Groundhog Day, but it's because your soul, thank you, the evolution of your soul through many lifetimes, you've gone through something similar. And when you're aware in this lifetime, it means it's time for change. You've got to shift it. So if you look back at your life and something keeps repeating, keeps coming up, it means you've got to do the work on it, because it'll just keep coming up. It's not going to go away, believe me. That's the gift. Okay. I have another guy that's walking in, and I'm like, oh God, who's next? It's like a show on this side. It's like an old TV show, you know, behind the curtains they used to have back in the day. Coming on stage now. They're laughing. And then I just heard one of them say, I said, did we really have to choose this person as a messenger? I'm like, that's a cheek. I'm like, okay. Okay. So someone I wrote here was your life lessons are gifts, which we just spoke about. And then they said here also, your operating system, your mind, your body, constantly communicating with each other. So you are part of as a whole. And most of you know this anyway. And when you become overloaded, it malfunctions. It's because you're not listening. You're not listening as internally, as in it's time to stop, to take, to take stock of what's happening to you in your life. So when something keeps coming up, it's about taking stock. Because if you don't take stock and go, right, I need to take 5 minutes out, have a rest, have a break, then what happens is you get a lot of ailments, or body starts communicating with you and says, right, you have to seriously stop. And so that way, then you sort of are pushed back. So there's a number of people they're sort of making me aware that have that feeling of feeling burnt out at the moment. Some are going to feel a little bit burnt out, feeling that they've done so much, they're going through so much at the moment. It's just too much, they can't handle it. But they're saying they need you to take stock, they need you to step back, they need you to take a moment so that you can start processing the information. And that's when your higher self says, okay, they're listening, now we can start processing that with them and start giving them a greater understanding of why they're here, looking at their life purpose. Okay, thank you. something else they mentioned, soul pods, lessons. Oh God. I'm saying this and already I can hear this from loads of people like, oh my God, soul pods, they're our families we're born into. And sometimes they provide us with our greatest lessons. And sometimes we'd like to run away from those greatest lessons. But as they've already said, they are the gifts that I keep giving. And so soul pods, family members, we can't choose family members. We think we can't, but actually we do. Our soul chooses to come through with certain soul members so that our soul can continue that growth. But remember, our higher self, which is that soul consciousness, chooses those individuals, and they also, there's like a little meeting or a conflab as such, and they all agree to come forward at the same time and to have whatever the lessons are. And so soul pods are really important. So whatever you don't fix in this lifetime, or whatever you don't resolve, you can't change somebody else, but you can look at how you may be feeling around the individual, because that's the gift that's given to you, that your soul pods are those individuals that come up for you, that you can address it, that you're not running away from it. You cannot change that person, but you can look at what's coming up for you in that family, in that soul pod family. That's your lesson. That's your gift, they said. And another guy just come in and said, there are so many signs that each and every one of you have out there within your family settings, that some of you are missing those signs. That again, you some may become defensive, thinking, oh, how someone's done something harmful or wrong to them, but there's a lesson in it. So turn it around and see there's a lesson here that you've been given. Okay. And I literally wrote on my board in front of me, you can't choose your family, and then I did a laughy face and said, but you do. That's my guide. Okay. Something else somebody said here was move through the stickiness of your fear. The worst and the worry stops your mind. Your battles are fought within your mind. Your mind is your battleground. And with your mind being your battleground, your energy of what you are interpreting going on around you, you're creating more of it around you too. So whatever is going on internally within your mind, you'll send it out like ripple effects, like echoes going out into the energy around you. And that does affect then what you are receiving back, because energy, from the universe is a bit like a boomerang. You chuck it out and go, I don't want that, please go away. It's going to come straight back at you if you haven't addressed it. This is what one was just said. And again, they just said these are the lessons that you need to learn. The battleground is internally, especially within the mind. And I'm just going to have a look if there's anything else they wrote here. Okay, fine, thank you. So the battleground is within your mind. It's about that expansion. It's about being conscious of what the battles are, so that you can address them, so that you can look at them, and so there is this extension of growth. But what they're saying to me is sometimes what happens is you may hide from that or don't want to address it. And from doing that, you're still not moving forward. Thank you. Okay, let's have a little look. I have one guide that's stepping closer now, and the communication with this particular guide, let's have a look, see if they'll come in closer, please. There has often been awareness and maybe statements that have been shared about your planet, as in it is the school. And believe me when I say this is the school for the soul. It is a place of where the soul learns its greatest lessons. And this is because of your physical form and shape that you take. Your soul does not have to reside within a physical shape and form, but to grow and to learn its lessons, it has to be in the touchy and the feeling parts of the physical body to learn. well, through death, as you will label it, that the soul leaves the physical form and moves over to one side as such. We are limited by the terminology that we use because of the messenger that sends forth the information. But it is your mind that creates who you are on the planet at this time, of how you see yourself. It is your interpretation of your experiences that creates the individual that shows up in your world. And then, of course, then the information around you that you interact with. It is the information that you send out into the world. You are like the AI that you have created on your planet. So whatever information, or say for instance, information that you are asking for on your computers, your devices, you will look at the history that will come up and will automatically know as in what else you are interested in, and it will make suggestions. It's the same as the interaction with the universe, as in creating suggestions of what it is that your soul wishes to learn at any time and process while you are here on your planet. So your thoughts are being processed and also received through the universe and to the universal field of energy. The universal field of energy is conscious aware of who you are as you stand on your planet right now. So if you fear of lack of, or fear of not wanting to be in a situation, you will incur more of, because this is the information that you are placing out. So if you have this information to hand, then surely you must understand that how you see yourself, how you start to make those changes and have the awareness of your own particular life, that you become aware that you can then start making those changes. It's almost like the game that we suggested before, as in the chess pieces. You move your chess piece and then the universe interacts with you, and so do those who play the game with you. The game with you may be your employees, your family members, your friends, lovers, partners. They are the interaction that you are receiving from those. And the universe will set up the information for it to happen to you, for you to grow. So you can see in your mind of how you visually become aware of a situation. For instance, as in, if you have siblings in your family, or you ask family members, or you remember a situation going back, they may not recall it the same as you are recalling the information, because of how they are interacting, the vision of the world for themselves, how they interact with the world around them. They will be processing the information. So if you have grievances with a family member or an individual in your life, how you are receiving the information of how they may receive the information may be very different. It is because of how they see their world around them. You see, your internal voices of what you think and you can't do and what you can do is also affecting your external energy around you, because of how you are feeling about yourselves. Psychology only gives a certain amount of information. It can be a key to some of the information or the behavior of humans on your planet, but also it does not encounter about the energy of the humans on your planet. It does not look as clear as the information, because of course there was no way of measuring the information at the time. Experimenting on energy was very different back in the day. Now there is more information to hand. So as you, on how you think about yourself, of how you see your world around you, if you were to ask other family members or friends, they may see your world around you in a different light. And that is why some of you reach out and ask your friends for their opinions of how they see a situation. This could be quite foolish, because depending on how they have experienced their own lifetimes too. And so then when they advise you, maybe not the information necessarily that would be of beneficial or helpful to yourself. By having more of a connection of your higher self, or learning to connect to your conscious soul, then you have direct contact to your soul that has been with you many lifetimes. would have more of an understanding of your goal, of where you are meant to be heading to. We are aware when we say meant to be heading to, as we know that each lifetime there is a lesson that each of your souls wish to learn about your soul self. We are aware that this is where you are operating, and we are aware also that some of you do not wish to do the work at any particular time. Maybe wanting to encounter grief constantly and trauma and drama. And then some of you will be quizzing and saying, but through the information I seek in any lifetime, and once I reach the pinnacle, where would I go to then? You see, with the ego mind, you, who you are on this planet, of how you are showing up and how you see yourself, continues to expand itself. Sometimes there are a fear in some souls who have not elevated themselves or educated themselves enough, that feel once you solve the problems, would you be coming back again? What is there, if we were to say, there is their movement that you move on to somewhere even better? But yes, this is a school in the sense of where the soul needs to learn certain lessons and have a greater understanding of itself. It's just not the planet Earth. That is just one. There is more to discover. Some of you discovers different realities through your dream work and through meditation. You can create any reality that you wish to create, but is your mind reminding you that maybe fairy tale, not real, only because you are not touching it with your fingertips? It is like the baby, where you try to listen into the baby's mind. You cannot find the words. You find the emotions and feelings. There's some sense of frustration at some times, but whilst the baby is growing and the toddler starts to develop the words and becomes aware of associating words to those feelings, there is another world that opens up. The physical baby using their hands to touch their environment, to touch the space around them, and once they have words, it is not necessarily tuning into their intuition, their gut feelings, is now to work with the mind more. When the mind is working out how to solve those issues, you become more stuck within the mind, and it can detach you also then from the intuition that you had felt before, that the primeval brain going back, caveman and more, going further back. When words came into play, it separated so much of the natural intuition, the sixth sense. Thankfully, animals do not need to communicate with words like yourselves, so they are fully aware of their sixth sense. Okay, I don't know what they said, but I'm still here. That's good. Okay, is there any... Okay, and I suppose in a way, looking at, thank you, of addressing individual issues that come up for individuals, that would take an expansion of time, they just said. But the battlefield, as they keep saying, is in the mind. And so it's about learning about more about yourself, and learning that through whatever those experiences that come up, is to sit with it. How is it making you feel? What are those primeval sort of emotions and feelings and senses that you are receiving for a situation? And then also there's a limitation sometimes, that people feel that, some people may feel that there's a limitation, as in, well, how do I get through that? I can't achieve this, I can't achieve that. Or we tend to compare ourselves. So as a human, you tend to compare yourself and the journey that you're going on and going through. But it's about, what is the biggest lesson that you have learnt through the situation that's occurred to you? What is it that's come up for you? What is it showing? And a lot of the time it will show some of our weaknesses that we have, and sometimes we don't want to look at those weaknesses, because we sort of, once we start looking at it, it's like open up a can of worms. Well, then once I start looking at my weaknesses, you see that as something terrible and negative, but it's not. It's actually, by looking at those weaknesses, it's how do we strengthen that? How do we grow from that? So being vulnerable sometimes is the best thing to be feeling. Sometimes we're seeing it as it is a weakness and it's something that's very negative, but it's not. it's that vulnerability of a situation that when we actually look at it and delve into it, as in, where is this coming up? Where has it come from? Where has this come from in my life? What's happened? Why have I been in that situation? Is it this lifetime? Could it be a past lifetime? And this is prime what I'm saying about the Thursday. Sorry, not that I'm advertising, but the Thursday course, looking at that, you know, looking at our journey of where we've been as a soul, that soul development, what is coming up, because it could be repeating. And a lot of my findings is that when something comes up, it's a repeating pattern from either ancestral links, or it's to do with like past lives that we've lived in before, and trying to unpick it, sort of detangle it. It's not that it needs to be done on your own either. You know, it's like something that can be brought up, but working with your team, asking for guidance, like meditation, working with our spiritual team, asking to connect to your higher self, just so that we get a clearer understanding of what's going on. It's like that showing me in the mirror. I mean, there's a great exercise of going to the mirror and looking at yourself and asking for direction. Who was I once before? And, you know, seeing that wounded healer in there, that inner child. There's, you know, through that it releases a hell of a lot. And that's why I always say, like, by journaling and addressing what comes up, it's like when we start writing about something that's happening to us, the answer's in the writing, because our higher self starts communicating with us and giving us direction when we're really sort of zoned out. You know, we're tuned in and zoned out, we're connecting to it. But what we tend to do, a lot of us, is we try to run away from it. We fear it because it feels so raw and so sensitive. We don't want to be going through that situation again. But thank you. One of them just said to me that literally by when something comes up, it means it's time to address it. It's risen to the surface. I've said this before, like, you know, if we get a piece of wood in our finger and it's a splinter, when it's ready to come up to the surface, it might feel really sore and tender, but it just means it's now risen to the surface. Whatever it is, it's time to take out that splinter. It's a bit like, you know, taking out that from the wound. Unpick it, you know, open it up to the air, let it start to heal. But if we hide it and keep pushing something down, it festers and it's more painful. So we're sitting with it, sitting with the journal, writing in a journal, and asking our higher self to give us more of an understanding. Our higher self is our soul consciousness. It's our soul, but we're just communicating with it in a different way. It's not hiding or running away from it. The soul sort of has that knowledge of our journey in the lifetimes we lived. I hope that helps. Okay, I'm going to look at that because it's interesting. When you were talking, they were talking too. So, okay, let's have a look at this. Okay, so the idea of when we have those, say, they're going to always call them gifts, lessons. The idea is when we're going through something that's very frustrating. Okay, you know, we all are a book as such. We've all lived life. We've all got something that's happened to us, for us. This is what they always say. But when you're going through it, it's really hard to sort of think, this is for me, it's helping me. How can it be helping me? It's crazy when you're going through it. And with our soul pods and you know, family members, colleagues even, soulmates, romantic relationships, you know, twin flames, whatever. When something's coming up, it's not necessary for us to fix anyone. It's not for us to help them. It's for us to help ourselves, which might sound really selfish. And I've been sitting quite a lot with Light Council, and it's about us helping ourselves first and foremost. It's really important that we look at it from our point of view. So it's not necessarily us going, oh, well, that person is that way because of. We can do that. Gives us a little bit of, okay, we have an understanding. But we need to look at it and go, right, what is this showing me right now? What is it that I am learning from this? If I look at it as something that is my lesson in this, it's about learning to go, right, what is it I can learn from this? So I suppose I could look at, say, my toxic 32-year relationship and go, okay, you know, he's this, he's that, and it's easy to blame somebody else for what's happened. But I don't grow from that. That's sort of like, oh, he's just like this, he's just like that, and I walked away and I saved myself and blah, 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 and I escaped and everything else. That's not learning anything from that. If I look at it and go, okay, that was a lesson that needed to come in to show me actually how strong I am, to show me that I am capable of buying my own house. I am capable of learning stuff about myself. This is my lesson for me. So we got to look at it as in turning it around. What is it going on? And sometimes the hardest thing is actually standing back and not actually engaging with them necessarily. We're not running away from the situation, but we're also learning to, it's not engagement. Sometimes we just need to step back and just to feel what's going on and to have the conversation with anything with their higher self. Their higher self, their soul consciousness is more aware than what they may be physically as the human on this planet right now. So when we're in meditation, when we're connecting, like what you were saying, as an empath, sometimes we pull ourselves away because, you know, we can tell when someone's lying, we feel that sensation, you know, we don't want to have all that energy, we're being bombarded by it. Sometimes we need to find our own space. But it's like, yes, be aware of that sixth sense that we are aware when we need our own space. But it's about, let's do the work. So it's not necessarily you have to directly do the work with that individual, sort of the reality of our 3D world. I don't need to go to that person. So the person I had a relationship with, he has no concept of understanding of what happened because he doesn't want to address it. And that's absolutely fine. And for so long I was very angry. Who then was suffering? Me, because he had no awareness. So with me, when I sit there and I had a conversation with his higher self, it was like, well, he's on this journey, I'm on this journey. What is it that I gain from it? I could then empower myself. So when I looked at it and like, okay, what can I gain from the fact that I had a relationship with a narcissist? It was actually letting me know actually how strong I was, that I can then move through that relationship. I could rebuild my life. I could allow myself to open up and to be loved. I've just had literally 4 days away with my partner now, and on holiday with somebody. The first relationship, 32 years on going on holiday with somebody, my ex-partner. He would walk miles in front of me. I'd walk so far away from him because he taught me this is what you do on holiday. You don't connect with each other. You know, you sit on that side of the beach. He sits on this side of the beach. There's no communication, no talking, nothing. That's just the way he would have done things. Going on holiday for 4 days with somebody new, it was like, oh, you want to be joined at my hip? Okay, I think I like this. I'm not sure. I'm learning all about myself. Okay. Even from doing the beach towels on the beach. I mean, before, my ex would like get up, walk away, and I'd be tidying up the beach towels and putting in my rucksack. And so I literally turned around and my partner now's put everything neatly in a bag. And I'm like, I'm shocked. I'm learning new patterns of behavior because I'm interacting with a different person. So it's like our interaction with others, how we see things. And it's like, I mean, if I say the hardest thing for me at the moment is engaging myself with a new partner and not being shouted at, not being treated in a toxic way. For me, it's my biggest lesson right now, which somebody say, wow, that's not hard, is it? But I'm rewiring, rewriting everything for myself right now. So it's not about us escaping something. It's about empowering ourselves by looking at the situation, what's coming up for us. What is it we're learning about ourselves through the interaction of it? And by then, when we look at ourselves, we are then having that knock-on effect to others around us. They are learning through us. It's not that we're purposely here to teach them. It's that as long as we are looking at our own selves and as what is this teaching myself, then they end up learning from it. Now, the toxic relationship I had, I'm not teaching him anything in a sense. I'm not constantly teaching him like you got to treat people like this. From him having, say, lack of contact with other people around him now and not having, say, a partner in his life, he's starting to learn now that actually you have to engage with someone. You have to talk to them in a different way. But he's sort of through everything that's happened between us, he's learning that slowly. So it's not for us to change somebody or to teach them, but it's about how we treat ourselves shows others. It's like children. If it's no good saying to them, you get off the TV, don't watch TV. As if you're a parent, you're constantly watching it. They're going to learn from that. So first and foremost, thank you, my guides have just said, first and foremost, you've got to look at what any lesson is teaching. It's like having a mirror, turning it around 360 and going, right, what is this showing me about myself now? And it's not that we're giving them credit by saying they're my greatest teacher. That's not what we're doing. It's the lesson. What is it showing us so that we can make the changes? Because if you hand it over to somebody else and go, oh, they are like the teacher, then we're still not taking responsibility for it. We're not learning, we're not growing, we're not expanding. So, as they just said, thank you. It's more about look at the lesson. What is it how that person might be treating you, how they might be engaging with you. What is it? How are they making you feel? So that then you can look at, do I want to be treated like this? No. And then learning that you can do anything you want to do, and not to hold it as a fear that you can't move through something. Even if you have to go into battle with them, you know, in a sense of engaging, in a sense of building up all your power. I don't mean physically fighting, but it's more about you going, right, what is it I need to make those changes? So it's more about that. So it's not about stepping away from anyone in particular. It's more about looking at what was the lesson that you're learning from that individual. What are they showing you? How's it making you feel? That's the lesson. Hopefully that helps. Well, you've got to look at why you're taking too much on in the first place. If you're taking too much on, it could be that in a sense of maybe it's like you've sometimes some individuals say, because I have to do it because nobody else will do it. So you have to look at that and go, okay, if I'm in a family situation or a work situation and you're taking on everything, you've got to look at it as in the sense of why do you feel you need to be that position? Why are you playing that role? And that's another thing that's really important. It's the roles that we are playing, but being consciously aware of the roles you are playing. So it's like the interaction with others around you. What's the response you're expecting back? Or what is it that you feel that do you feel that some others that they can't actually do something, and then if you're doing everything for everyone, then they are never going to learn to do it? So it's like handing some responsibility over to others. So thank you. So their question to you is, why is it that you feel that you keep taking everything on? This is interesting, thank you, because they just said to me, we have someone just whispering in my ear now. The thing is with looking at spiritual energy and the movement at this moment in time, what's happening is when people start tuning in, they feel there's this urgency to get everything done, an urgency to provide something for everybody else. And there's a thirst, like a real thirst. I want to, like drinking something, if you're really like thirsty, like dehydrated, you want to take in as much as you can. Now, thank you. It's more about the energy. It's more about the energy of it. The energy is very high. It's like if you like a fizzy bottle of pop that you're sparkling and going everywhere. It's this high vibration of energy, and it makes you feel like, okay, I've got a caffeine body, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, and I've got to provide this for people, and I'm going to do this and change the world and blah blah blah. It's because the energy that's connected to it is quite addictive, the energy, because it's very different from the 3D earth plane where we're just the 9-to-5 job and we're physically moving through the world, which is our physical body needs that also too. But when we're looking at energy, it's like it moves very fast, very high frequency, and it can be very addictive. And it's I think if I go back now to when I first started and I started having communication with spirits on the other side, I'm like, oh, this is amazing, this is brilliant. And it's the best job in the world, bringing through the communication of individuals that those who are on earth plane and thinking that they're never going to hear anything from their loved ones ever again. There's suddenly this information is coming in, and you're providing the evidence for your client that's sitting on the other side. It becomes very addictive because the energy on this side is very light. It's very light and fuzzy, and it's not hard. It's easy, it just flows straight through. But if you keep doing that constantly, how can you operate in the 3D world? You also need to take some time to be present in your 3D world. Now, people who know me, friends, will go, oh, Anne, you've never take a break. And I'm like, that's very true, I haven't. But it's making me realise that I also need that break in the 3D world. I need to be present so that my physical body and my all of me can absorb being present on the earth plane, because that's why we're here in the first place. We're having that experience of eating, drinking, socializing with people. We need to have that too. It's a balance that we need. That's really, really important. So at the moment, I've noticed a lot of people who are coming to me that are training to become psychic mediums or work in the energy field. There's a sort of urgency. I want to get this done. I want to get this done. And there is a sense of a frequency that moves there, but it's more of the frequency that when we tune into is that there is a quite high frequency. It's like that caffeine or sugar feeling, but that's part of the energy of it. So there's no rush. It's about take your time and really absorb it and process it. It's like having some good food that you're eating it and you go, I just need to taste it. Otherwise, like, give me all those I don't know, chocolate or whatever it is that we like, you know, our fantasy. Just, I mean, I've literally spent 4 days eating loads of shellfish and fish. I could still eat it today, but it's like, to really taste it, you have to be present, and that's really important. That's one of the things I keep saying, is we have to be very present as well. Especially like with yourself, this is a brilliant question, because literally I know you're a medium, you're a natural medium, and also as a natural medium and also as a psychic, we have to be present in the 3D world, so that then all the information of the smells, the sounds, what we're hearing, what we're tasting, touch, we then can share that with our clients. So when, you know, souls on the other side, you know, on the other plane, we have to have that knowledge. So I have to be able to smell lavender before, so that then on the other side, if someone comes in, their favourite smell is lavender, I must have a knowledge of that so I can smell it in my nose. So I have to be present to picking that up. So I take snapshots of everything around me. So sounds, what was it? The other day I was with my son and my grandson, and hearing birds flying over our head and all their little wings, and there was loads of starlings that came over in a flock. And I heard it, and then I had a session with a client the other day, and it just was lined up beautifully that I had a client that came and I heard all these little birds. I had to hear it, I had to be present. Now if I was like, when I was going out walking and I wasn't present, I wouldn't pick up all this information. I've got a dictionary going on of all the, you know, encyclopedia, whatever you want to call it, of all the information. So we have to be very present as well, because we're having this human experience. So slow. Question that you asked, and thank you, advocate, they keep saying advocate with you, and going back to counselling and looking at psychology and looking at teenagers and the work that you're going to do with them, and about whether, you know, is it a good, would it be a good idea to sort of introduce them to the higher self? You want to combine, thank you, amalgamate the energy work and the psychology and everything else. They said, you said, you speak of time as if there's ever a perfect time, and there's never a perfect time. If anything, it's about you helping them to be, we would say, grounded, in the sense of them having a greater understanding of themselves. So coming from the greater understanding of themselves, that would help them immensely. They said, again, it's not that you're doing the work for them. They said, just imagine, by helping teenagers to have a great understanding of themselves, then they won't have to go 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years and then analysing themselves later on. So you're giving them the gift to help them to understand, to have the tools. You'll be providing the tools, you'll facilitate them in the sense of helping them to understand themselves better or greater, to have a greater understanding of their soul self from a younger age. So it may be, whether you want to say terminology as in I'm going to help you to connect to your higher self, it might be another terminology that you use, but actually for them to sit with themselves, to get that grounding, to have a greater understanding as in life's lessons. It's just lessons, it's just gifts that are given to us. So get them to understand more of the terminology of taking some time out to process information. Thank you. They said there's so much judgment on certain age groups, especially the teenagers, of them discovering more about themselves, and how some of them beat themselves up in their head of comparing themselves. But what if you taught them, gave them some tools to be the facilitator, as in helping them to understand there is, you know, greater purpose. There is about them learning about themselves. Themselves is their greatest lesson. It's about them learning how they operate, they said. If you start with that, helping them to understand themselves better, their operation, they're operating where they operate from, that will help them to expand. So combine the pair, combine the energy, information that you already have, and the psychology. And it's about them learning to be open. They just need a sounding board, someone to hear their voice. Some of them are very heightened, especially the teens are very heightened with all their energy, or their hormones especially. It's like an energy field around them, so they're quite open. So this is a great opportunity. So they've given you a big tick on this side, saying well done, tick. They love that. And they said also because you have a great understanding of yourself. Because you have a greater understanding of your soul self, your journey in energy, you are aware of it, and you have you're sitting more comfortably with it. If that's why then you can go on to help others. So that's why there's so many psychic mediums, so many counsellors, so many therapists, because the clients will come to you that have an understanding that you understand it already. They'll be drawn to you. I love that. When do you know when it's the time to move, or do you battle? And as you were talking, they were just saying, the moment you feel that it's the time that's going through your head like a little sentence, is it time to move? You've already answered your question. Because if it wasn't time to move, that would not have entered into your head. Now, there is this protection mode in the sense of, you were talking about the tree, and you were talking about the ancient planting and other things that need to be protected. But it's interesting because this is happening to you for a reason. And thank you, they said. This is not me pointing at you, but they just sort of said, for a reason. Because it feels as that there's been other things that may have happened. Okay, there's been other things that may have happened, like someone being ill health or whatever it is, because the body communicates. So sometimes people living in situations where, whether it's for yourself or a member of family or for others who hear this, that, you know, also from our environments, if there is ailments that are coming up, ill health, again from the environment around us, again it's the energy. So it's not just, imagine they said you live in a box, whether it's a house, apartment, whatever, whoever's listening to this, but you live in a box, but the walls vibrate out, so the energy travels out and travels in. So the energy from whoever's living next door to whoever individually, their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions also travels in. The walls do not stop that. You know, whether they're brick, they're concrete, they're wooden, they're steel, doesn't stop it. It's like the vibrations in the energy you live around. It's a bit like when we hear an aeroplane in the sky. We hear the aeroplane in the sky, and if it becomes a bit of a bugbear and we hate hearing it, it's because we're feeling the vibrations of it. So when something is a bugbear or something that we do not like in our environment, we are absorbing it also emotionally, internally within ourselves, energetically. So if it doesn't feel comfortable, then it's time. If you cannot see, they said, thank you, it's whether you wish to address that battle. Why would you want to use a lot of your energy up to go into battle with an individual? It doesn't make sense, especially in your situation you were just asking, because it feels that it'll be wasted on the individuals. They're not listening anyway. So whatever you say, it's going to be more of you internalizing the frustration of that will keep you still. And is it worth being in that battle? So if anything, it's sort of saying, well, how can I make charge? How can I empower myself? What is it that I can do? And for you asking this question individually, they said, well, this has not come up for the first time. It feels as if it's time for you to move on. But whether you do or not is physically up to yourself. I can't see them changing. Sorry. So it might be a push from the universe saying, yes, you're correct, you need to move, and this was just a sign to get you to move away. Okay, brilliant. First and foremost, when we have stuff going on for us, so that real transformational shift, and the universe is just chucking everything at you, you know, it might be divorce, it may be losing someone's job, it might be losing their home, whatever it is, whatever the shift is, it is exactly that. It's a shift to move you out of that gear. It's changing the gear now. And also what happening, like for you particularly, and I know this from some of us as well, like their greatest gifts come in at this particular time. That they're doing a lot of the psychic mediumship development, and it's coming in thick and fast because you are shifting. And if we want to use the analogy of like looking at, you know, like the butterfly and the caterpillar, you've gone through so many shifts. You've just changed through so many different chrysalises here, and you're going through those stages, which is normal for you at this moment. But I also want to say that they are showing me you as in with this armor that you're wearing. So it's like a Buddha or something like that, as in, okay, I'm fighting this battle and I'm going to go for it. I would say for some people it's a slower process, but for you in particular, there's something that you had said along the way that you wanted to change your life. And this is another thing. When we turn around, I've done it myself, when we turn around and say, right, universe, I'm ready for change, just throw it at me, watch what happens. because it shifts big time. And sometimes we look back and we go, oh my God, why is this all happening at once? Well, then they'll creep in and go, well, you actually did ask for shifts and change. So we're giving it to you. We're giving exactly what you wanted. So be careful what we ask for. Now, you need also to catch your breath through certain stages and take moments of pause. It is about the journey. It's about writing as in stages that you're going through. Because when we write down about the stages that we're going through, everything that we're processing right now, as in it's how it's making you feel, what is it coming to the surface, what is it showing me? They are the golden nuggets. They are the moments that you catch your breath and you go, oh, thank God I got through one lot of, whatever. Then you write a little bits about it and you communicate and you ask your higher self, as in, okay, give me more direction. I need to connect that. Your higher self, the soul consciousness, becomes aware of each stage that you're going through. But it wants to make sure that you really totally get it, because otherwise you're going to get more and more and more of it. So what I have found, that if you journal it as in what's happening, how it's making you feel, the universe goes, yeah, tick that off. They've learned that lesson. Don't need any more of that. Let's move on. But if we don't acknowledge it or we don't sit with it, then it takes longer for us to acknowledge the growth in ourselves. So you need to be going through this process right now, just knowing that actually you can do this, because they wouldn't be giving this to you if you couldn't. But it's a massive shift in your life. You're changing your skin. You're changing literally all your energy of who you are. Whoever you were once were, that's not how you're going to end up. I mean, it is like the rising phoenix they're showing me with you. And this happens to quite a number of people. Then you're going to make big changes in the work that you go on to do. So it's absorbing what you're going through right now, as in sitting with it and go, okay, this is normal. This is okay. I'm going to get through this. You have to keep reminding yourself you're going to get through this and you will come out on the other end. But journaling tends to help, because the journaling is really connecting to your soul awareness. Your soul consciousness is going, right, yep, we're navigating her through this process. We know that she's got this. She's going to be fine. But we need to know that she understands it. So when we journal, it's like everything comes out. It sort of spills out. We go into automatic pilot mode, as in automatic writing. The information comes out. It's that form of the soul connecting, letting us know. Bear with it. You can do this. I have total strength, and I do have that awareness of where you are going to end up. So it's just about going through. It's the hard knock of schools, I think they call it. Okay. We are going to do this little meditation, and then they have your cards for you, okay? So if we go into little meditation for now, I'm going to put this meditation into the group, like-minded group, so that if you want to become a member of that, or I will put it in some of the other groups as well, little meditation, the WhatsApp groups, so that you then can practice it again later. So it's a channeled meditation. They take you on a small little journey, and then they'll come back out, and then we'll do your cards for you, okay? So when you're ready, make sure you're in that position where you can just position yourself. Excellent. Feet on the ground, always perfect. That's it. Lovely. So let's begin. So when you're ready, closing your eyes, and let's take you on a journey. So now, as you are breathing in and out, you're becoming consciously aware of your surroundings. Listening to any sounds that are around you, and allow them to come into your ears, into your head. And on the out breath, you just breathe them out through the mouth, sending them out all around you. Excellent. And when you breathe in, you breathe at your own pace. You've been doing this for many years. You are the expert on yourself. When you take your next in-breath, you breathe in through your mouth. You're bringing in the energy of life around you, life within the environment. Allowing it to come in and drop it into the core of your physical self. This is also a great way of measuring the energy around you. See how it feels when you're breathing in and you're breathing out. Feel that expansion around you. Be mindful of how your body feels as you breathe in and breathe out at your own pace. Be mindful. You're balancing your energy. You are the extension. Your energy around you is the extension of life force around you. Be consciously aware of how you feel whenever you breathe in and breathe out. How does it make you feel? How does your body feel as you breathe in and out? If there's any sensation of it keeping you small and tight, it may be something in your environment that you need to look at. But breathe in and out at your own pace around you. Excellent. And again, when you are consciously aware of your breath, you bring in your breath, drop it in through the back of the throat and send it down into the core now, the physical core of your body. Bring it down into the heart center, and you're beginning to become aware. You're pushing down your breath through your body. And again, whenever you're ready to breathe in, you breathe in at your own pace. And again, you observe the energy you're breathing in around you. You're bringing in that light energy, drawing it into your lungs and bringing it down to your physical body through the core, the trunk of your physical body, and pushing it down now into the base of your spine. You're aware as you breathe in and breathe out, you're becoming that connectiveness to the energy fields around you. You're entwining your physical body and the energy fields around you. You're starting to feel that expansion. And as you have that breath and the energy in the base of the spine, push it down through your legs, come down to the soles of your feet. Feeling, imagining now like the trees with their roots. As you breathe out, you're pushing down the energy down through your soles of your feet. Imagining you are like the roots of a tree, strong. Feeling that connection to the earth. Feeling that you wish to be empowered by the energies of nature and the earth. You can feel it. Almost smell the soil in the air. Feeling that moistness within the soil. That you can feel it almost through the fingertips and like the toes. You are feeling the energy, the smell of the earth and the core energy. As again, whenever you're ready with your breath, as you breathe in the air around you, just like the tree and the leaves that absorb the energy of light and life, you're also being aware of the energy you're drawing down from the trunk of your body, coming all the way down for the soles of your feet. You're aware that your roots are anchored into the earth's energy. And as you breathe out, you're aware that you're sending down the energy into the earth. You are connecting. You're setting that intention to connect to the core of the earth. That sensation of the earth, the ancestral lives it's lived many times before. That ancient wisdom of the earth. That as you are there, aware of the energy of the oceans around you, the animals, the recycling of the earth, the cycle that you may be in at this particular time of the earth's energy. You're becoming aware that you're beginning to have that in-breath. And as you bring in that in-breath, you're drawing it up through the soles of your feet, coming all the way up and allowing it to sit at the base of the spine. You're feeling into the energy as you're breathing in and out. And as you're breathing in with your next in-breath, you draw into the base of the spine. You open up this energy at the base of the spine. You're allowing this freedom of energy to move up through the spine at the back, in and out of the vertebrae. This energy, like a tingling sensation, it rises up through the back of your spine. And as you breathe out, you can start to feel that extension of yourself, almost like the wings of an angel as they open up. You can feel this extension of your energy as it opens wider and wider. And just like the wings of an angel, almost like through the fingertips, you begin to feel your expansion of space. You're allowing yourself to connect. You're moving through time and space. Your fingertips through the different dimensions, like a thin membrane, as your fingers gently poke the membrane of energy. And just feel that gentle resistance, the bounds of energy, the reality of where you are living, the world that you live in right now. Feeling it on the fingertips as you gently just want to push a little bit further out. Almost feeling as if you can push your palms out even more, that you burst through that thin membrane of reality. And you allow yourself to step into another dimension of time and space. And feeling that if you feel it through the palms of your hand, a warm tingling sensation of energy moving through, that you can feel that sensation as it moves through the palms of your hand. You're allowing yourself to extend fully out. And just like the roots of a tree, feeling almost like the branches of that tree now, as you're pushing out into the universal fields of energy, you're connecting. As you become aware of who you are, feeling yourself there as the extension of life, feeling that embodiment of connecting to nature, That as you are there, becoming aware of the cycles of life, the seasons of the nature as it changes through time. Just this awareness of yourself as you are like the seasons, that you're allowing yourself to move through time and space. This full extension of yourself. And as you breathe in the energy moving up through the soles of your feet, through the base of your spine, you allow your awareness as the energy rises up internally, as if like twine that moves up through the physical body, this plant that moves up through the trunk of the body, this expansion of your soul self. But as you breathe out, feeling that expansion within your lungs and your rib cage, feeling at the front of the body and behind, you're extending your energy. Feel the unconditional love as you're there with this light energy around you. It's almost as if you become part of the audience within Light Council. You can see the energy of those around you. You're aware of the scholars that have shared their information many times before. It's almost like the mirror reflection of seeing yourself, the higher self, as you stand in front of the light. Feeling that light around you. Unconditional love, that lightness. Childlike energy, that giggling in the background. Feeling that like a child that's racing around, galloping along the beach, and feeling that freedom of expansion. Almost like the leaves as they blow on the tree, that you can feel like the leaves clapping together, and a giggling sensation within the wind as it whishes and moves through the trees. This lightness in your energy as you move through time. Just like the nonsense of the dreams, as different dreams show us information. Allow your energy to be light, feeling the expansion of love and light as you ripple out with that energy of love out into the universe. And for those who need to find their peace at this time, may your soul light their way, as if there's a light that shines out from you, lightens their burden, lightens their load, that you are sharing with others. This ripple of energy effect that sends out into the universe, that sends out into humanity, helping them to feel strong and safe in this empowerment of their soul self. And as you are breathing in and as you are breathing out, you can feel this expansion of your soul self, just like a butterfly that gently allows her wings to gently flap as she moves from flower to flower, the nectar from each of the flowers. As you're there in this space, this feeling of enlightenment of energy around you, asking your guides, your higher self, to step forward, to offer you guidance, to help you to navigate as you move forward. The scribes who are there to take in the information, to recall it for you, the many lifetimes that you've lived as a soul. And knowing any repeating patterns is just information that needs to be worked through in this lifetime as you continue many lifetimes. And give thanks to the gifts that you have felt in this lifetime of yourself. Be mindful of what lessons you are learning and be grateful for your awareness of your soul self. For you are the lucky ones that are aware of the consciousness of your soul self. It is as you move forward to lead, to serve, to be there for others, to offer that service in a sense that they too may find you and offer that guidance and to help them with their direction as they move forward in time and space. We are just here like a flickering candle for a short time. But while we are here, it's for us to make those changes in our lives and in others. This awareness of soul self, this expansion of your time and space. And as you are there in this space where Light Council resides, feeling their energy of many who step forward to hold that space around you. There are many in those within Light Council that have watched and have been on many lifetimes before, who step forward to offer their guidance at this time. And as you feel that expansion, as in your breath, as you breathe in and you breathe out, you can feel how you connect to the rest of the world, the galaxies, the universes, the different timelines that you've been on before. This is but a version of yourself. This is just the knowledge that you hold about yourself now. As time changes, and so do you. And as you're there, breathing in and breathing out, feeling that connection to Source, gently with that breath as you breathe in and breathe out, you begin to become aware of the groundedness of the soles of your feet, that you allow yourself that extension of self to expand, but then to bring gently back internally. Like the bottle with the cork, you gently, like the genie in the lamp, you draw back in your energy of expansion to come back to reside within the heart center. And as you be aware of your breath, as you draw it down into the pelvis region, bringing back knowledge and wisdom that will help you in this lifetime. On the count of 3, I'll bring you back. And 1, being aware of the energy of breath as you bring in and bring out. You're becoming aware as you're drawing the energy back up through the soles of your feet and coming back to yourself. 2, being aware of that physical body of where you are resting. Being in this space, enjoying this time that you are on planet Earth and living. And 3, take a nice deep breath in. Bring back into your physical body. And 3, beginning to let out your breath and allowing yourself to connect to your space. Wherever you've been, come back, opening your eyes when you are ready. Come back.